The long painful wait for justice in the mysterious death of Ambassador Mthethwa has finally taken a dramatic turn. Late last night, the Paris Metropolitan Police, working alongside Interpol and South African intelligence, confirmed that the arrest of the exact killer behind the brutal assassination of a diplomat had taken place. This arrest was the result of several weeks' international pursuit from Paris to Marseille, in which the investigators worked their way through surveillance footage, secret informants, and advanced digital trail analysis to piece together the movements of the suspect. It was a painstaking investigation which involved dozens of intelligence agents across 3 countries using some of the most sophisticated cyber tracking tools at their disposal in law enforcement today. According to official reports, the suspect, identified only as a foreign national in his mid-30s, was cornered inside a heavily guarded villa on the outskirts of Marseille. Described as swift, precise, and executed under the highest level of secrecy, the operation was surely nothing short of a cinematic special forces maneuver. Eyewitnesses in the vicinity spoke of an extraordinary scene that looked more like a Hollywood action film than a real-life police mission. Helicopters hovered above the quiet suburban neighborhood while armored vehicles blocked nearby streets and special forces officers clad in black tactical gear moved with synchronized silence. In a matter of minutes, the villa was surrounded and breached. The suspect, realizing there was no escape, surrendered without resistance. No shots were fired. Inside the luxurious property, investigators found a stunning array of evidence that implicated a man who lived a double life, always on the move, and protected by a wealth finance network. Hidden compartments hid several fake passports from different countries, encrypted laptops, and untraceable satellite phones, as well as about $250,000 in cash. But most disturbing was the discovery of handwritten notes and coded messages that French investigators believe may contain details about those who ordered the hit. A senior investigator in the case would later say that the evidence told of an operation too organized, too well-financed to have been random. This was not a crime of passion or opportunity. He said this was a professional hit executed by someone trained, funded, and directed. Under intense interrogation, the suspect reportedly confessed to being directly responsible for the death of Ambassador Derivative. He claimed the order came from very high places and was connected to a trove of sensitive documents the ambassador had been preparing to deliver to European authorities. Those files, which remain missing to this day, are believed to contain evidence of high-level corruption, money laundering, and illegal arms deals implicating both South African and international power players. According to leaked intelligence reports, the suspect told investigators he had been promised protection and a new identity once the assassination was complete. Payments for the operation were allegedly routed through offshore accounts connected with companies in Dubai, Mauritius, and South Africa. Transactions that investigators now track in cooperation with several financial crime units. What has further intensified the case is that the suspect was apparently not working alone. During questioning, he named 3 accomplices, including one South African national believed to have played a critical logistical role before vanishing back to Johannesburg. Authorities are now coordinating with South African police to locate this individual who may hold vital information about who orchestrated the assassination. Meanwhile, the news of the arrest has sent shockwaves across South Africa. Within hours, crowds gathered outside the DA family home holding candles and singing liberation songs in memory of the slain diplomat. On social media, hashtags like #JusticeForNathan and #TruthMustComeOut began trending, reflecting a nation's collective yearning for closure after years of silence and speculation. The emotional impact on this family was immediate. His widow, who has largely remained silent since the tragedy, was said to have broken down in tears upon hearing the news. Friends close to the family said she felt relief mixed with cautious hope, as she had always believed her husband's death was politically motivated. Her fears, it seems, are now being confirmed. Political commentators have warned that the revelation could spark one of the most significant scandals in modern South African history. The question of whether government officials were aware of or complicit in the assassination has already begun to dominate national debate. Opposition parties are calling for an independent commission of inquiry, insisting that justice cannot end with the arrest of the assassin, but must reach the powerful individuals who funded and ordered the crime. The French and South African governments have issued statements to the effect that they are committed to full cooperation. The South African Department of International Relations has already dispatched a special envoy to Paris to discuss extradition and further legal procedures. According to diplomatic observers, the case may strain relations between the two countries in case evidence implicates political figures within South Africa's own ranks. Meanwhile, international media outlets have focused their attention on the story, drawing parallels between Deya's assassination and previous incidents elsewhere in the world, where diplomats were targeted for exposing corruption. Investigative journalists in France have even claimed that Deya was under surveillance weeks before his death results, suggesting that the operation had intelligence backing and was minutely planned from start to finish. In a late-night press briefing, Paris Police Chief Luc Maroro called the arrest a critical breakthrough in dismantling a transnational web of corruption and influence. He said the suspect is now behind bars under maximum security, monitored around the clock. Every statement is being recorded. Every lead is being followed, he told reporters. This investigation will not stop until we uncover the entire chain from the men who pulled the trigger to those who gave the order. His remarks have added to the intrigue and further raised expectations that more arrests could follow. Forensic experts are working to unlock the contents of the electronic devices seized from the villa, which investigators believe contain encrypted communications, stashed financial information, and possibly even video recordings of meetings leading up to the assassination. If such evidence is found and verified, it might show a web of influence that goes well beyond national frontiers and could implicate foreign businessmen, intelligence officials, and politicians. Lawyers have warned of potential catastrophic consequences not only diplomatically but also economically should identified suspects in leading positions of government or corporations be found guilty. Back in Pretoria, the ANC is said to be in disarray. Emergency meetings have been held behind closed doors as the leadership scrambles to contain the growing public outcry. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to address the nation in a speech aimed at assuring them that his administration had no hand in the crime and that it's committed to openness. But sources close to the party say there are deep divisions within the factions, with some fearful that the investigation might dig up skeletons buried for years which could splinter the political elite. The murder of Ambassador Mthethwa has haunted South Africa from the moment it happened. He was a man known to be a principled diplomat, honest, fearless, and deeply loyal to the country he represented. His sudden and brutal murder has left not only his family shattered but an entire nation in a state of disbelief. For years there have been whispers of conspiracy theories which have included political sabotage to foreign interference. Yet up until now there had been no tangible progress, no arrest, and no justice. Now, with the capture of the alleged assassin, the world's gaze has refocused on Paris and Pretoria, where investigators and diplomats work around the clock to unravel one of the most complex, consequential cases in recent memory. The truth, as it slowly emerges, could topple established power and reveal the dark underbelly of political greed. If that truth will be allowed to emerge in full or again be buried under the weight of influence remains to be seen. One thing is certain though, a turning point has come. As further interrogations take place and more evidence comes to light, many more names are likely to come out. Names that may shake governments, end careers, and change the course of South African politics forever. The world holds its breath as this investigation unfolds. To the family of Mthethwa and a nation longing for justice, this is not just one man being taken into custody. It is the reckoning they have been demanding for years.